Today, guys, we're going to be talking about how Volkanovski lost to Topuria. Now, whenever things like this happen, people start to hate the fighter that beat their favorite fighter. But Topuria did an amazing job of stopping Volkanovski. So there's so many things in this fight that are unique, that you can learn from, because their styles are so different. So now let's just get into, first off, what are their styles? Let's go quickly through Volkanovski because you've seen him through a bunch of title defenses now. He's light on his feet. He keeps his lead hand down so he can flick up the jab. He does this because you get more range whenever you have it down. If you have it up here, people are going to be able to slip it more. And Topuria had a problem with Volkanovski's jab. That was one of the best things that he did in the fight. So he's got his hands down and he moves around a lot, right? But whenever you're moving like this on your toes, it's harder to move side to side. You see, try that at home. Like you have to put a lot more work in to circle around your opponent, right? And that's what Volkanovski couldn't do. He couldn't circle around Topuria effectively. And that's because Topuria was doing a good job also. So now let's cap off the Volkanovski, right? We got on your toes, moving around a lot. And the one thing that really hurt Volkanovski here was his lead leg kick and body kick and high kick. And I'll break down that a little bit more later, but let's just go for it. Right, he's on his toes. Maybe flick the jab out a couple times, and then you go with that high kick. Now let's start off here. So with this left kick, whenever you kick and you don't have this hand up, you're open to the right hand. And that's what Topuria was setting up the entire fight. Now I know a lot of people are going to hate on Topuria, but he did something perfectly in this fight. He reversed what Volkanovski was doing, and it's just what his style is. It was just a perfect style matchup for him. Volkanovski's on his toes with his hands down most of the time, relying on head movement, while Topuria, I like to call his stance the reverse Muay Thai stance, right? So let's break this down first. Topuria's got this stance, right? Muay Thai, except he doesn't have this lead leg. He doesn't float it how you usually would. This is for teep kicks. This is for checking kicks. He does a reverse Muay Thai stance. That's what I like to call it. Instead, he has all of his weight on this leg, and he dips like this for a feint. So he's got a boxing style approach. He's got his hands up high, very defensive. He's got his hands up high, and this is the feint that he's doing. And not only is he moving with this feint, he's moving side to side, and he's cutting off the ring. Now, what's different between Topuria's style and Volk's? This style takes a lot of energy, right? I'm going around my opponent, jab, jab, move out of the way, left kick, go back. I'm back here. It takes a lot of energy. While Topuria is cutting off the ring by taking little steps like this, feint. And every time he'd feint, Volkanovski would have a big reaction to that feint. Every time. So I go down, right? Boom. And there's one more reason that nobody's really caught of why he's feinting like this, right? So Topuria's best weapon, let's compare him to McGregor right now, right? McGregor's, everything he's doing is for this left hand. Just like that. Big left hand. Topuria's the same way. So what would this feint do for you? Volkanovski's getting used to reacting to this feint. And this is a perfect movement for that overhand that he threw so many times, right? So he's getting distance by making Volk back up, just like that. Every time you go down, he thinks that overhand, big overhand is coming. That takes a lot of space. So instead of like Volk having to move around and earn that space, Topuria just kind of uses Volk's movement against him. Makes him move back, does it again with an overhand. Now, his whole goal is to get Volk against the cage, because Volk's movement allows him to dodge, it allows him to kick, it allows him to strike. So Topuria's whole goal is to get Volk backed up to the cage. And like we saw in the knockout sequence, to unload hooks and straights. That's what he loves doing. Whenever he gets you with that right, that's what he did to Volk, right behind the ear. Whenever you do that, your equilibrium gets thrown off, and you can't stand anymore. Whenever you're against the cage, you can't move around. So you're stuck against the cage and you're wobbly. And then Topuria went in with that other right hand, or maybe it was a left hook, right hook. And that's all it took. So the whole lunging thing is what got him here, right? And that's what I'm saying when you can learn a lot from this fight alone. It looks like Topuria just went in and dominated him, but what he really did was he set a game plan and he stuck to it. And there's so many little details, like the footwork is the biggest thing. Volk is moving around on his feet, and Topuria, this boxing stance, McGregor was using it until he got his leg broken. We saw Topuria he got kicked a lot, but how he countered that was kicking Volkanovski back. Whenever you have this stance and you're heavy on this lead leg, you can also use this stance to generate more power in your leg kicks. And he's always on this lead leg. Boom, boom. I want to get you to back up. All right, you move this way, I move this way. You move this way, I move this way. I'm cutting off the ring right now. Boom. Now I get in close. Overhand, back here, right? That's what he did so well, is he didn't get greedy and just go in and rush Volk. He stayed at not long range, he stayed at mid-range with his hands up. And where Volkanovski, his corner, really made a mistake is while I was watching the fight, I realized within the first 30 seconds, Volk throws the left leg. I think every kick, every strike that you can throw with your left leg to the side of your opponent, I think he threw every one of those kicks within the first 30 seconds. And he will continue to do this throughout the 12 minutes or 7 minutes that they fought. Now, whenever you're at this position, it's perfect for that right hand. And it's like everything collided together for the perfect knockout for him. Because whenever you're off balance, you're on one leg. You get kicked or you get punched, you're going to be thrown off way more than if you're planted to the ground. And that's what Topuria really capitalized on, is he stayed planted. Whenever you stay planted to the floor, you have more power throughout your entire body. And that's why he has those really strong right and left hands, because he uses the ground up. Okay, now it's really Volkanovski. Anyway, so whenever you have that boxing approach, hold on. All right. So whenever you have that boxing style approach, right? Whenever you're going in like this, you're saving a lot of energy. And I think also Volkanovski throwing these kicks, and also getting backed up. He would throw and he would lean back, right? Because he's trying to avoid the right hand. But whenever you lean back, now you can't roll with the punch anymore. I'm already so off balance that whenever I get hit with the right hand, I fly back, right? So whenever he's also feinting like this, sometimes Volk would get caught in the middle of a leg kick, right, with his hand down, and then Topuria would turn that feint into an overhand, right? And like I said earlier, this overhand, Topuria also used it just to get distance to throw the left hook and then the right hand, right? So that's another thing. He set traps for Volkanovski. He noticed, right, that whenever you throw like this, right here, right on the chin, for the right hand, it's the perfect target. So whenever you're already feinting like this, it's just the perfect storm, right? So, Topuria, I really never heard about him until he knocked out Volk. But I guess we got to talk about how Volk got knocked out by Islam. Now, what do you guys think? Is it a factor that he took this fight right after a knockout, just like Tony Ferguson, for example, with Justin Gaethje? Is that, is that what's happening here? Or do you think that Topuria just outclassed him? Because I think it could be a little bit of both, but Topuria definitely had the right game plan. And if anything you could take from this video, it's about feints, right? Volkanovski, he's used to moving around at his own pace, right? But Topuria, he would not let Volkanovski choose when they want to engage. Something I always say is, pressure kills creativity. And what that means is, whenever you get to dictate the pace of the fight, you're used to that pace, and you have certain weapons, right? Volkanovski's used to those kicks. They always work. They always back up his opponent. But whenever you get pressured, let's say your toolbox of how many strikes you have gets cut in half, right? So whenever you're getting backed up like he was against Topuria, all of those strikes that he had were just reverted to the jab and the left kicks. What he should have done is, when you have an opponent coming straight forward, rather than go with attacks to the side, and especially if they have their hands up, don't go with attacks to the side. What's the one thing that's open right now? It's to the front. And even if they're able to block, right, they're able to get that guard up, now you can go around to the side. Because look, now my guard is open over here because I'm trying to block my face. All of these strikes are interchangeable in boxing, and that's what made his feints so scary, is because whenever you have your hands up and you're feinting like this, you never know what's going to happen. So Volk, he keeps trying to throw these head kicks up, and they keep getting blocked by Topuria because he already has his hands up, right? So whenever you have your hands up like this is a good lesson to leave you all on, and I think it'll help a lot of beginners out there, right? So the main thing, whenever you have somebody that has their guard up, go to the body, right? You're going to force them to drop their guard. Go with the leg kicks. That was working for Volk. You saw many times that Volk would hit him with that leg kick and Topuria would go back like this. Leg kicks are going to work. Whenever you have a high guard like this, you have other targets. That doesn't mean abandon the head completely. That means make them lower their guard. Hit them in the liver. Hit them in the legs. Make it hurt there. So now they're like, all right, I want to catch that kick. I want to, I want to reach for the takedown. That's what you need to do. So whenever you have your hands here, a jab, right? Somebody keeps jab. Jab cross. What do? You block like this, right? That's how you're going to do it. And then, say your jab cross, right? Now they keep blocking like this. Now, it's time to go with a jab. Jab hook. Jab. Overhand, right? You want to get around that guard. Whenever they start moving like this, uppercuts are available. You want to use all of these things interchangeably, right? So, I think that's a good summary on how Volkanovski got knocked out. The last question that I've really, I think people they're kind of underselling Volk here. 2 losses to very, very good fighters. I don't think he should retire. He bloodied up Topuria. He had a good game plan, but he got overwhelmed by another game plan. Like we saw success with Volkanovski stepping in with the jab and then throwing the right hand. We saw success with the leg kick, but sometimes fighters, if you don't prepare well enough, maybe that was the problem. His cardio might have been off, and that's one of Volk's best things, and his durability, right? So there's a lot of things going into the fight, but the one thing you should take from this is watch that Topuria fight and watch how stepping is usually going to be more efficient than moving on your toes. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. Check out the Punch Podcast. I'm going to be doing more videos, tutorials like this, and just stay on the lookout every week. Every Monday, the Punch Podcast, and sometime throughout the week we'll have a video. I got Instagram, I got TikTok, I got YouTube, I got everything, guys. Go check it out. And if you have any suggestions, let me know. And let me know what you guys think about UFC 299, Sugar Sean O'Malley versus Chito Vera. I'm going to be breaking that down here probably right after this video. So check out that probably in a couple of days. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Later.